Yo, 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 what is up? We are back. This is No Border Sports. I am No Crypto, and this is my guest today. It's Mitch. He is a Eagles content creator. If you can't tell by, well, I would say Philadelphia sports content creator, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Eagles, Sixers. I'm starting to get into Phillies again. So I've been doing live play-by-plays of the Phillies once a week.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're getting into baseball again.
I met you first through talking, Big Play Slay. I got shout out to Big Play Slay. Big little homie out there. And we started talking, seeing some of your, watching some of your streams. We had to get together and collab. So here we are.
Yeah, definitely.
And for anybody who wants to know more about Mitch, his all his stuff is in the description. So please go get him a sub and a follow.
Appreciate you. Let's just get it started, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about. You know what? Let's go. What did you think of last season? What was the feeling at the end of last season? Yeah. Like, where did you feel the team had gone, and where do you think the light was that they could go with the last season's play?
So for last season, I actually predicted them to go 9-7, and I got it right because of we were getting a new head coach, Nick Sirianni. Going into it, he had this press conference about rock paper scissors, and that I was just like, bro, our head coach is using rock paper scissors for a draft tactic. And I'm like, bro, this is going to be bad. And then Jonathan Gannon started off, right? Jonathan Gannon, we knew nothing about, like, literally nothing. And then now we are like, people say we had the one best defense in the league analytically, but when you watch it with the eye test, I mean, when we played you guys, you pretty much saw it. Our defense was garbage. Our defense was completely garbage. Jonathan Gannon had Fletcher Cox on the screen. So it's just like, it is with that. But with Jalen Hurts, we're going to talk about him a lot, I can just tell. But Jalen Hurts got us to the playoffs, right? And people keep on saying he's not a throwing quarterback, he's a running quarterback, and all of this stuff, right? Hey, we were running by committee. That was the only way we were going to win, by Nick Sirianni switching off to the run game. Because if you remember in the beginning of the season, right, we didn't run. We did not run at all. So we were like, we got to run. Nick Sirianni changed it to the run. We won 5 or 6 straight. So that was good, but I thought we were going to be even worse with that defense. But hey, we got in the playoffs. We lost to Tom Brady in the first round. So it was good overall. We got to the playoffs.
I don't really think it's fair to call Jalen Hurts a running quarterback, to classify him just as that. I think a running quarterback is somebody who you have there who is athletic, and who's fast, and who doesn't really have very good arm skills. And, Jalen Hurts definitely has some things to work on, but I don't think that's him. He checks a couple of those boxes, but like, he's got arm skills. I think his situational awareness is what's off. You know what I mean? It's not like he has top echelon arm skills, but he's got enough there to be able to be a decent operating quarterback in the NFL. Like, I'd rather have him over Tannehill just for the fact that he might not be as consistent, but you can do more inside your offensive play. Someone like Tannehill or Jimmy Garoppolo, they need a very run-centric offense, because they can't push the ball down the field well. You know what I mean? It has to be this dink and dunk all the time, and then this power offensive run game. So Jalen Hurts and that, I just think I think rookie quarterbacks, they've got 3 years to prove if they're got it or not. And, some people could prove it to you in 2. You know what I mean? But anybody, it takes about 3, really. Some people can do it in less time than that to show you that they are a winner. You know what I mean? But to really find out if somebody's a bust, you need 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. Well, tell that to the Eagles fans, because I don't know if you're on Eagles Twitter at all. I don't know if you've seen a couple of these idiotic tweets and stuff. Like this one guy tweeted out, if you're a fan of Jalen Hurts, you're a loser. So it's just like, With this fan base, you can't. Not everyone is gonna have the same opinion. Everyone's gonna be like, "This sucks. This sucks. That's great. That's great," etc.
Hey,
But
you don't. You should check out 49ers Twitter.
oh my god, I know. Trust me, I know.
Talking about there are still die hard Jimmy fans. Like talking about, oh, one more year with him. Yep, he's going to start next year. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. Like, no, the team has gotten worse since then. The team has gotten worse, and you think he's going to get better? All right. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I can't remember.
You're good. You're good. So basically, it's just just the fans. It's not fair to judge Jalen Hurts like that. Like you said, his awareness, reading the field, that's what he needs to work on. And hey, he's surrounded by two of the greatest Toms of all time this summer. Off season. Tom Brady and Tom House, one of the best quarterback coaches of all time. So it's like he's surrounding himself with the right people. He has the right work ethic, and everything is working out great. We just got to wait and see. And I said this before. I'll say it again. I think he's going to ball out this year. And I'm not the biggest Jalen Hurts fan. I'm not the biggest Jalen Hurts hater. I'm right down the middle, right realistic. Sure, Jalen Hurts does some stuff I can't stand. Sure, he does some stuff that I love. But it's just like, I don't think he's the guy. Like, that's just me. But here's something. I actually conducted a poll this morning on Eagles Twitter. And hold on, let me pull it up if I can find it. Man, God, I tweeted a lot during the Sixers game. God damn. Oh, right here. So, 49 here. I'm going to share the screen, okay? So, I'm going to put this up. You're going to, for this total, the Eagles fans love Jalen Hurts from what I got. So, up right here. So, I'm just going to zoom in here. Let me click. So, do you think that Jalen Hurts could be the guy? 77.6% out of 49 votes so far say yes.
Gotcha.
So, I thought this would be higher. It's still short. We still got like 14 hours left. But it's just like, I thought this would be higher, bro. I honestly thought this would be higher. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe the haters actually haven't seen my tweet yet. But it is what it is. So,
yep. This would be the year. This would be like the third year. This is, he had his rookie mistakes and then now he's got his growing pains. You know what I mean? And this would be the third year where he kind of like everything starts to click. You know what I mean? So that could be true. Or he could just keep up in the same path that he's been and you could go, oh, I guess we were wrong,
Hey, Alexis.
What up, Alexis?
That's my guy. I put your stream on my community post. So we're going to get some of it. Carson Strong from Nevada. You think we're going to draft a quarterback? On this morning's show, every Saturday I do MK in the morning, like around 9:45 to 10:45 my time. And I was like, I would not be surprised if we pick Matt Corral. I would not be surprised at all. It's Howie freaking Roseman we're dealing with here. So it's just like people are like, we're not going to – Jalen Hurts is not the guy. We're going to draft a quarterback. Just wait to see what the draft is going to look like. And then we'll go from there.
Because I wouldn't be trying to – you could go double quarterback in the draft next year. You know what I mean? Just keep – you know what I mean? Get the backup and your starter next year. And, have competition. You know what I mean? It'd be great. You know what I mean? Ship Jalen out. If it doesn't work, then ship Jalen out. You know what I mean? Because you don't want people who like Jalen there, still – with Jalen on the team, now he's the backup and he used to lead people for 3 years on the team and now he's, holding the clipboard. Yeah. No, I would work on my offense and my defense. I wouldn't worry about a quarterback to back him up. This isn't the draft class to do it. If I was going to do it in this draft class, I would probably see if one of the good ones fell into the second round and then get them with the second round pick. Or if they fell further, you know what I mean? They grab them with the third. But other than that, I wouldn't see me right now even trying to really use a second round draft pick on a quarterback in this draft because you could still get good wide receiver, good edge. You know what I mean? There's so much there at that second round that you can still get into. That one of these mediocre quarterbacks isn't really worth the value still, but you would be able to get one of them this year essentially for relatively cheap. You know, in this year's form if they fall.
Now, here's the thing with me and what I would do in the draft. I would go defense. First two. 15 and 18 defense. I can see how it would be Roseman trading the 18th back. I can see that. But for me, defense, and wide receiver in the second or third. Because this wide receiving class is good. I like this wide receiving class a lot. And I just see that. I can see it's Howie Roseman at the end of the day. If he goes wide receiver and defense or defense wide receiver, I'm okay with it. As long
you guys got 15 and 16, right? Or 15 and 18?
15 and 18. We traded with the Saints. So we gave them one of our first, and then we got it was like a big trade. It was
a cluster.
Yeah.
So what I would
let's hear it.
John Lynch did this his first year as a GM. They went over and looked at Trubinsky, and the Bears had the pick behind them, and the Niners hadn't had their quarterback yet. So they're like, Niners are going to pick Trubinsky. We want him. So they gave him a great package to move up one, and the Niners picked Solomon Thomas.
Oh my God.
But they got extra draft capital out just because they were acting like they wanted to met Trubinsky. So that might be something if your GM was smart enough to do, he could have figured out what the other teams are probably going to go for in the draft and then just call them and, have a meeting with them and make them want to move up another spot just to pick up some draft capital. You know what I mean? Because then you could move around a little bit.
Now, there's actually there's a question for me down here. Swang Singh. I don't know if Swang Song. I don't know if I pronounced your name wrong. If I did, I apologize. I think the Eagles were going to draft it. Before that, it was about Deebo Samuel. Would I trade? I got to ask you about that. But would I trade for him? I don't want to give up the bank. I don't want to give up a lot. So I would still do it, but it's Howie Roseman at the end of the day. I don't think he's going to do it, being realistic. One thing about me, I'm a realistic fan, Eagles fan you'll ever meet. So if we did do it, I would give up a first, third, and a fifth in Rager. But how do you feel about this whole Deebo Samuel thing?
I hate it. I hate it with everything inside me. See, you're talking about what you would give up. We've already mocked it. We've already mocked it. We took your 15th and your 18th. That's why I knew exactly which picks you had. We took it because the way I see it, with your offense, somebody like Deebo could set that afire. You know what I mean? So you could justify spending 2 first rounders on him because first thing, if you're a good GM, you only hit on half of your picks, right? You know what I mean? 50%. That's good. You know what I mean? And so you're talking about spending 2 first rounders on someone is good and can do everything that you might want in your offense. It's not like you got to draft 2 players and have 2 players on he falls in the same slot, same spot. You know what I mean? It's all the same. So he I think would be totally worth it. And I'm not saying that he has to be played as a running back. That's not the thing. But when you get him in those little screens and the sweeps and all that, you know what I mean? Any kind of scripted way to get him in space down the field, it's magic after that point. So yes, I think he could be worth 2 first rounders.
He could. You're not wrong on that. But here's another thing.
Would you be upset if they traded 2 first rounders for Deebo Samuel right now?
Personally, I would not be because I know what I'm getting in return. I know what I'm getting. Like with the draft and Howie Roseman, it's a crapshoot. What is up, Coach? What is up, man? That's my guy, Coach, from the Spotlight Sports Network. What up, man?
Yeah.
So it's just like I know what I'm getting. So with Howie Roseman drafting, I don't know what I'm getting. I don't know what I'm getting with Howie Roseman here. Like, look at the draft history. Rager, Whiteside, Barnett, Dillard. Even though Dillard is not exactly a bad pick because of what happened with like Jason Peters and everything. So that's not necessarily a bad pick, but his drafting is not that good. He's only good at contracts and he's good at trades to an extent. So for me, it's just like I know what I'm getting with Debo.
Do you think he's the type of GM that when they see upside, they think that it's like guaranteed? You know what I mean? Like in their eyes that, oh, he's got tremendous upside. Well, that's exactly what we're going to get from him. You know, instead of, well, he's got a tremendous upside. Who knows if he'll get there? You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have that extra part built in to go, you know, will he actually get to that point or will they get to that point, you know?
Yeah, right. It's just the thing with Eagles fans, I'm just going to be honest with you. They're like, gimme. And you see the trades like ridiculous, crazy. Like I've seen this guy like give up 3 firsts for a DK. I'm like, bro, no. I'll give you 1 and maybe 2 seconds and a third. I will not give you 3 firsts. This is not the movie Draft Day.
Wait.
Did you see that movie? Wait, did you see that movie?
Draft Day? No. But what
gotta see it. You gotta see it.
What I'm miffed over is the 49ers gave up 3 firsts essentially for Trey Lance. That's quarterback. You've got Jalen Hurts who hasn't proved it yet, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to give up 3 firsts for a wide receiver when you clearly need a good quarterback, whether you have him on the team yet or not. You know, you need that first before you can just go ahead and get yourself this, you know. And DK isn't worth that at this moment.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Like if with his size, if he had the same type of skills that Debo has, that's 3 first round picks, I'd say, because he is huge. You know what I'm saying? That is a big boy. And if he can move like Debo, you're going to need 4 guys to tackle him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to need 4 guys to tackle him. You already need 2 or 3 to tackle Debo. You're going to need 4 to tackle him because he's going to be moving and shedding you and then hitting you and bouncing. You know what I mean? Like DK doesn't play like Debo.
No, there's 2 completely different styles. But the point I'm getting at is that these Eagles fans are realistic or not realistic at all. They're not. Like, if they were realistic, they would have a channel like you and I. They would know what they were talking about. They would be making content. For other people would do that. And it's just crazy. Like, I mean, pick 1850. Maybe. Would you be mad if I threw Rager in that? Would you want Rager?
Well, if we take Rager, you got to get Jimmy.
I don't want Jimmy.
We don't want him either.
Hey, you have 49ers fans that want him.
Tell you what, you pay half his salary, I'll pay half his salary. No, tell you what, we'll just hold on to him, cut him. Never mind, it'll be cheaper for both of us.
Rager cheap. Take him. I'll give you Whiteside. He's now our tight end. I will. Yes. The guy can't catch. You guys seen him? He can't catch. He can't do punts. I can go on and on. Whiteside, how expensive is it? Let me look this up. I want to look it up so I'm exactly right.
So he can yell it out loud at people.
Not just that. I just like being right. So I don't like spewing out like contract. Oh, it signed a 4 years, $13.2 million deal. Shit. So it's 4 years, $13,270,676.
I'd rather spend $13 million on a shitty wide receiver than $27 million on a less than mediocre quarterback.
For me, I'd rather have a
quarterback leadership skills.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's like two ways here. It's like two ways. It's like, I don't know. It's just freaking Howie Rosen here. But that's basically
So
it, right?
let's talk about free agency. What were your favorite moves? I know you guys re-signed some of your core players. Who were you the most happiest? Let's go with that. Who are you the most happy about re-signing, free agent wise? And then who was the new signing of the free agents that you really liked?
Okay. So I'm going to start with the new signings, and that's Kaiser Wright, and that's Hassan Reddick. I'm telling you, we needed linebackers. We got them. We still need more linebackers, but at least it's a start, and at least we got a GM that notices that. So we got those two. Zach Pascal, I can live with. I mean, it's just like a guy who played under Nick Sirianni's system years ago for the Colts, or one of those teams, Colts or the Chargers. But yeah, I'm good with that. The deal I'm actually most excited about is Fletcher Cox, because we caught him, and then we got him back for 1 year, 14 mil, which I'm like, that's ecstatic, because a lot of Eagles fans wanted him gone, wanted him out of here, because he's not been playing as well. You know, he's been like going down in trenches. So we got him for 1 more year, and it is what it is. So I'm really excited about Rager. Really am. I mean, not Rager, Jesus Christ.
Fox clock. Yeah, Fox.
Huh? Oh,
About
Cox.
Fox.
Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, Cox. I want to say Fox, Fletcher Cox, F Cox.
Because I saw this comment and I saw Rager, and that's like, yeah, I hate Rager. So what about you? What signings are you really about? What signings you like for your Niners?
For my Niners, it's got to be the Travarius Ward.
Right.
There's also now that you're putting me on the spot, now I can't remember of everything. Ever since this Debo stuff, I forgot about everything that's been going on. I was glad we were able to re-sign. What was it, Willis? And
right. I forgot about Willis.
Yeah, was it? Did we lose Key? I can't. We signed some extra people on the line that we need to get back. We also we got the guy from the Colts, the defensive end. He seems like he's going to be pretty good. He doesn't have as like the skills when it comes to like the hand skills, it seems, but he's got speed. And our defensive line coach is defensive line whisperer. So a lot of these people come to 49ers on 1 year prove it deals to work with Coach K and learn things, and they are elevated by his teachings, but more so the scheme. And a lot of people don't necessarily play up to that ability where they go other places, but they do get a bigger payday. So it's funny. Like, it seems like the league hasn't caught on to what Coach K does. You know what I mean? As far as his defensive line scheme, or a way he puts his linemen in a position to be successful, because he just teaches them things, plays them in his scheme, and then they go out in the world, you know, after they leave the team, and they can't replicate it most of the time. And we've seen it in many different situations where a lot of these guys just can't reproduce the same way, and it's because I guess the schemes aren't ran the same way. So I don't know if it has to do with the wide nine itself. The wide nine is really tough for your linebackers. I mean, because you've like both guards at times can just come off the line and straight block you in the next week. So you've got to be smart. You got to be quick. Mm-hmm. So it's funny. Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
George Kittle. I had him on fantasy. What happened? He cost me a game, man.
Okay. So Jimmy having no arm is the reason why George Kittle was a blocker. He had to set that edge. He had to set that edge. Like, anytime he ran to the right, he had to be there to set that edge. Anytime they run to the left, you can have George out of the game or have him doing something else. But like, you only got Trent Williams there on the left. You know what I mean? You can't just move Trent Williams to each side, and he can, because that man can set an edge.
Yeah.
That man is a beast. You must know that, though.
One of the guys that's in my Spotlight Sports Network, this group I'm in, is a 49ers fan. I'm not talking about Jay Debate. This is another guy. And he was like, George Kittle is not being used at all. Like if Kittle was being used, dude, he was like one of the best tight ends the year before. That's why I picked him.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. That was crazy. That was weird.
And you got to understand, things might be different this next year because with Trey Lance underneath there, Trey Lance hasn't necessarily utilized his quarterbacks or his tight ends throughout the time, but it seems to me like Kyle doesn't need to necessarily. Kyle doesn't use the tight ends in the same way everyone else uses tight ends. You know what I mean? He just uses them as somebody who can catch a ball, and he figures out how to get him in a position to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like Kittle doesn't run seam routes all the time like most tight ends do. You know what I mean? He's doing different other stuff. And the reason is because he's a guy who can get mismatches put on him. And if that's the case, then they're going to run a play that gets him to where that mismatch gives him an open space to catch the ball.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the player on the field in this system. It has to do with when the mismatch gets on a player and how the coach is going to work up how the play that's going to be called to open him up, essentially. So at that point, he doesn't have to. It's not like he's going to not look for him because it's the play. George Kittle's the play at that point because the mismatch is on him. That's how the offense works. You know what I mean? So when you got a linebacker on Debo, you know what I mean? Debo is the guy the play is going to. You know what I mean? Like that's how the system works. You know, so you got a linebacker on George Kittle. Guess where the play is going?
Yep.
Let's see.
Yeah.
He was the 21st pick. Yes, he was.
Yeah. I don't like remembering that because we had Justin Jefferson on the board. Yeah. Exactly my point. I'm scared of this draft.
There's a lot of head shakers. Like I said, you know, Solomon Thomas, like earlier, we thought we did all good. I was like, yeah, Solomon Thomas, this guy's a badass. Yeah. Then he just decided he was going to implode. Just mess it all up outside of fucking football. And it's like, it's so sad to see players do that. Like, just they get all the way to this place and they mess it up. The Seahawks, you know, when the COVID happened, there was Seahawks, they were doing their little dome thing, and one of these guys snuck a lady into the dome or into the bubble late one night, and he got kicked out off the team for that. And it's like, who really wants to have that guy around on their team again? We all know that he's just worried about catching some tail and not worried about, you know, not only our safety, but our chance to play this game and make this money. You know what I mean? Like, it's a team, you know what I mean? And with something like that's going around, like, got to be smarter about things. You know what I mean? Whatever about, you know, how you protect yourself from this and that. But when they've got guidelines and stuff like that you need to follow, and it's easy as just don't hook up. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you're going to get paid way too much to not have to just go check something out on the internet, homie. You know what I mean? Just, it's not very smart. So what are your draft needs this year?
Gee, when do I begin?
Let's go offense.
Offense. Let's start with offense. Personally, I'm going to start off with this. A lot of people have been disagreeing with me on this, and I love conversation. I love debates. And that's a running back. I feel like we need to get a running back some point in this draft, and hopefully it's Hassan Haskins from Michigan. I'm a huge Michigan fan, but Miles Sanders, I do not like. I do not like Miles Sanders at all.
Do you guys have running back by committee?
Yeah, we have a running back by committee. Yeah, we
So
got Miles Sanders, Kenneth
you always need to
Gainwell.
be drafting.
Huh?
You always need to be drafting.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
we have Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, Jordan Howard is gone. I don't think we're gonna pick him up, even though I want him to. Huntley, I think he's gone. So we're gonna get a running back because Miles Sanders is on his last year. And personally, I would just trade him now. Like I would just trade him now. I know he had a good year, but his injuries I just can't trust. And he fumbled. I just can't trust it. So there's that wide receiver like depth.
Do you see them doing a trade for him draft day, or during the draft, trying to get him out to a team who might be looking for a proven running back to try and get some draft capital
I would do that
this year, next year?
I would do that. But this is last year's contract, so if we do keep him and let him go at the end of the season, I am okay with that. But he's got to ball out. He's got to ball out. I'm talking about like 1,500 yards. You need definitely more than 0 touchdowns. He scored 0 touchdowns all year, man.
Well, you think that? How many yards did he have?
Let me look it up. I think he was injured twice, so it's like I don't think it's that much. I know he had like 7 yards per carry.
There's been times where teams have had the one running back that gets all the yards and has a couple of touchdowns, and then one has like no yards, but he's the banger and the bruiser, and when it gets down low they just hand it to him and he just goes and gets the first down or the touchdown.
He had 757 yards, so that's 5.5 yards per carry. So
what was his longest?
38. So he can run. It's because we had a great offensive line. Whoever we get is going to have a great offensive line. So we don't need to pay big money for a running back. So I would let him go after this year, let him walk, and hopefully Kenneth Gainwell will take his spot. Because Kenneth Gainwell's ceiling is like he had 8 touchdowns last year. So Kenneth Gainwell, just have him keep going. And then I'll draft a running back later on in the draft and keep going and keep going.
So to successfully run that outside zone, because you guys run that outside zone also.
Yeah.
You need a guy who's quick enough to get to the edge in time. Like you don't have to have burner speed, right? You just need to be quick enough to get the edge in time. You have to be able to see the hole. You have to be able to make that one cut instantly, and you have to be able to accelerate through the hole. And it's not like a long list of people that can actually really do that proficiently. You know what I mean? And that's, what you kind of got to look at. And that's why I say you got to be drafting every year, because you never know about injuries or anything like that can happen. If you're doing running back by committee, that means you're also not paying a wide receiver. You're not giving them the bag. So that means that you have to, when they want that bag, they're going. So you have to have somebody there ready to plug and play. You know what I mean? So yeah, you have to constantly be drafting a running back. Like we drafted 2 last year. Some of the drafts we're talking about drafting at least one, maybe another one. You know what I mean? Because we want to make sure that we got people there and on deck, because it is the backbone of our offense. We got a fancy quarterback who can fling the ball down the field more so than the last one. But when it comes down to it, he's only there to do that a couple plays a game, essentially. The rest of the time, we're doing that to run. And the reason why we got that flashy quarterback to fling the ball down is because we want less people in the box when we run. You know what I mean? So, like, always draft those running backs. Not first round, not in the first round, not really even the second round. You know what I mean? It's those 3rd to 5th round guys you're trying to look for. You know what I mean? You're looking guys with those little talent, with that instinct. Most of these guys have the speed to get to the edge.
Right.
Okay, unless those big bruisers that just go up the middle. Okay, most of these guys got the speed to get to the edge. Some of them don't have the acceleration. Some of them don't have the instantaneous knowledge that's the hole and I need to go for it and react immediately. So finding one with both those traits is kind of hard. And then
Right.
getting in the position to get them in the draft. So that's why you gotta go for two. Niners last year had 3 on the roster when they went into the draft. They had Raheem Mostert, they had Gallman, and can't remember who else. But Hasty, maybe Wilson Jr. But yeah, you got all these running backs. They still went and drafted 2 running backs. It's just how you do it. You got to have fresh backs in there. Those young rookies when they come out, a lot of people don't know how their key moves. They don't understand how to see or understand them yet. You know what I mean? So they're harder to game plan against. You know what I mean? You haven't seen them 4 or 6 times. You haven't played against them and had actual real world knowledge against them. So everybody's like, there's not a lot of tape of them in the pros because college aren't recorded as much as like professional games are from every single angle and whatnot. You know what I mean? So it's sorry.
Yeah. No, you're more than fine. You're great. We need a wide receiver. We need a wide receiver bad. Because for us,
what type?
Any. Eagles are flexible. We'll take any. Think about it. We have.
Well, what do you think you already have?
Huh?
What do you think you already have as far as types? Do you got like a slot bruiser? Do you have the speed on the outside that can take the top off?
I mean, we do have the speed. We don't have the guys that can catch. We have Devontae Smith. He's good. He's good. Keep him forever. Rager, get him out of here. Whiteside is not even a wide receiver anymore, so I can't say that now. Quez Watkins. He's a speed guy. He can catch. I like him. Jalen Hurts could not even get him the ball last year. So that was the thing. Zach Pascal. He's a slot guy. So I think he'll be taking snaps away from Rager and Watkins. So we got that. Greg Ward's not even going to play. So we don't have any good wide receivers. We'll take any. Hell, I'll take Drake London.
Can you use Rager in the sweep? On a sweep?
Sweep? I mean, we could. We have been.
Can't catch.
But he can't catch. He missed punts. I mean, the guy just trash. The guy's just terrible. But for us, it's just we'll take any. Chris Olave, Christian Watson, Drake London. We'll take any. Seriously.
Oh, you leave Christian Watson alone. That's our guy.
Hey. We might get him in the second or third round. Wait, what picks do you have? What picks do you have?
Do I have?
Do the Niners have, yes.
61. And some other ones after that. But
wait, you don't have the first?
Yeah, Trey Lance is our first baby. Woo!
Wait. Really? What?
Yeah, Trey Lance is our first. And next year he's our first.
Oh, right. Right. Sorry, I forgot. But I was like, damn. Yeah, shoot. But for us.
Or Deebo Samuel is our first.
How long have you had Deebo for? Has it been a while?
3 years.
That's what I thought. He hasn't really emerged. Has he really been a superstar until this year? Has he always been in that conversation or no?
The last half of his first year, which was the Super Bowl run.
Right.
He definitely showed he was going to be the man. Okay. To the point where everybody was stoked to see him the next year, and then he got injured. You got me?
Yeah.
So, yes, he has, except we haven't seen it that whole time. You know what I mean? So it took him about a half a year to kind of to get it. He came on slow. You know what I mean? And about the 6th or 7th game, he all of a sudden showed up, and he was somebody who was dependable, to the point where those sweeps that we were running with him, um, they were game changers, and definitely momentum changers. And even in the Super Bowl, there was a trick play where he was, he's getting the sweep, and so everybody knows, hey, he's getting the ball. So it was a fake. He was going to throw the ball, and it was a mess downfield. And he had the the fortitude and the situational awareness to go, nope, I'm just going to tuck this ball, and we're going to get him 5 yards with this.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
hey, I got something for you. You might want to make into a video, or we can just talk about it right now. The Jets are willing to trade the 10th pick for Deebo Samuel.
Then what else?
That's it.
Oh, fuck off.
You don't want the 10th pick?
No.
What? Why?
No.
You can get a good wide receiver there.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna trade away Deebo Samuel, who is essentially 2 players in one, for 1 player.
I mean, that's up to you. These comments are like, do it, W. I mean, some of them were just like, Jets are willing to for top.
You got to understand this, okay? Let's say you see that 49ers flag in the background right there. Okay,
Yeah.
let's imagine that it's an artwork, right? Piece of art.
Yeah. Which it is.
You want it, but I don't want to sell it. It's worth $150,000, but I don't want to sell it. How much do you think you have to offer me to get that?
I would have to offer you more. It's common sense.
Yeah, because why? I don't want to sell it. So someone's saying, "Hey, here's the 10th overall draft pick for Deebo Samuel. That's going standard value." And I say, "Yeah, fuck off."
So what would you want along with the 10th pick? What would you want?
2 first, 2 seconds.
So you would want the 10th. So you want, is that including the 10th? So that's including the 10th. So you want the 10th and another first in 2 seconds?
Yeah. King's ransom.
I respect that. You should make a video on that. Like, seriously.
We kind of have. The reason being is, first thing, that's where you put it out as. You can always deal back from that, and you're probably walking away with the 2 firsts and a second. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, well, that's a little too much. And they go, okay, well, what's your offer? And they go, a first and a second. You go, yeah, no, sorry, don't worry about it. And then you just don't call them again. You don't even have to say nothing. You just, silence is even best in negotiation. If you ask me a question that you don't know, you don't know what the answer could be. You don't know whether if I could get offended on it or like it or not. And all I do is say nothing. You go, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? You go, what did I just do? I messed up. Yeah, so
you might like this. The Seattle Seahawks are actually possibility of moving back up to draft a quarterback.
I think that's ridiculous.
I mean, hey, they're in your division, right?
Right. No. Why would you... To me, as a 49ers fan, I love it.
Yeah,
but as an objective football fan, I'm thinking you guys are idiots.
Yeah, I can see that, but I was just thinking as a 49ers fan standpoint.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm not doing a 49ers show right now, really. You know what I'm saying? Like we're doing the Eagles talk, but no, I don't see. Oh, here, what we got going on here?
Deebo's still under. Yeah, I know that. These are just rumors that I've been getting, like in these group chats I'm in with other Eagles content creators.
See, 10th and 38. That's the lowest he would go.
Okay. Like for me, I wouldn't know. Like maybe 2 firsts and a second and a third, maybe. But
see, we could talk there. We could talk there, and if let's let's say the Lions, right? Lions got for 2 picks in the thing. So that first overall pick or the second overall pick, yes or no? Like, I don't know. I don't see many people like moving up much this draft, right? And to move up to something like the second, I was talking with a gentleman about this last night, that it wouldn't really be worth giving up all that draft capital, move up in this draft for essentially any one player other than maybe a quarterback. But then still, it's not even worth it because you can just suck for a year and get better position and get a better quarterback next year. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think a lot of these teams, like Seahawks, they should be chilling out right now. No, we're gonna run with these guys. We're gonna play with these shit shows of quarterbacks. Maybe. Hey, if one wows us, hey, great. They'd cost us nothing, right?
Yeah.
If they don't, great. We have a crap year. We get a higher pick in the draft, better quarterback for a rookie season. You know what I mean? And you can even have your crap quarterback then and maybe even get, sit your new quarterback behind him and you get the crap quarterback in there and you get 2 years of good first round picks. Bango bongo.
Right. Right. So, yeah. Yeah, I definitely can see that. So, when you say that this draft right here is probably one of the most important drafts in 49ers recent history?
Is this one of the most important drafts in 49ers recent 49ers history?
Yeah. When you say that or no? It's just like a regular. Because for us, this is like one of the most important drafts.
I would say that last year was probably the most important draft because if it pays off, you're talking about a generational talent in Trey Lance. This could be a pivotal or crucial one in his time frame, dynasty with the 49ers. Essentially, it could be a crucial one for him because it's so close to when he's about ready to take up the reins. They essentially have no draft capital at this point, as far as they just got a second and they've got some conditional thirds. We do have some thirds hanging around, so we can go deep. But for us to do something, I think we could. It is crucial, and we need to get him an offensive line, but we also want to get him Christian Watson, and we also want to get Nick Bosa. We want to get Nick Bosa a companion on the other end. We need to get somebody with some speed, to go against his strength and his damn just determination. I don't know if you ever watched much Nick Bosa highlight films, but
nah,
the guy never stops.
I know he's a scary dude. Yeah, we had to play him.
The guy never stops. He gets put on the ground by 2 guys, and he's still crawling underneath them, and he pops up, and the quarterback's got to get rid of the ball before he sacks him. You know what I mean? Like, the guy never stops, and he's so quick and efficient. Somebody on this. Somebody on the sideline said, "Man, is it Nick Bosa? You don't need to practice." He says all he needs to do is about 10, 15 minutes of a little hand thing that he does, and he's good. Because that's his whole move. He does the same hand thing every single time, essentially. You know what I mean? Sometimes he bull rushes people, but his side scissor hand move, bull rushes is you go in like this. His hand move is what he practices all the time. And that's his thing. So, yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just a lot of stuff to talk about here. So, where do you have the 49ers going, like record-wise? Like, you've seen the opponents you guys are be playing. Obviously, your division twice. So, where do you have your 49ers? Like, how many wins? Like, for Eagles, for example, I have us winning 10. We have an easy schedule. We have easy opponents this year.
I could see us going 10-7 or 9-8. So I could also see us winning a crap ton of games.
right?
I could, you know what I'm saying? I could see us winning it all. The way I see it is, from what I saw from Trey Lance, is that he's done nothing but grow.
Mm-hmm.
And with 1 year in the system and sitting there and probably lamenting the fact that he's sit behind the interception king, the wanting to get out there and show what he has. In his 2 starts, you could see him getting better, right? So next year, he's going to start out and he's going to be rusty like every quarterback is in the beginning of the season. But the rest is going to stay on there for a little bit longer because he has to make the mistakes so he can learn from them to get to where he needs to be, because he wasn't allowed to do it last year. So there's going to be some growing pains. But he could learn those things in a matter of 3 to 6 games. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might have the bugs worked out early in the season. And if that's the case, watch out. You know what I mean? Because Trey Lance has been told throughout his whole career, by everybody, almost everybody, that no, you can't do it. You're not made for it. You can't do it. You know what I mean? You should be a tight end. And he's always said no. And he's worked very hard to make himself it. You know what I'm saying? Like he tried to go to Division I schools. They didn't want it. So he went to the best Division II school. You know what I mean? And he sat behind, he did everything he was supposed to do. He learned, you know what I mean? He's got no issues. He just this is what he does. And he's going to come out here and he's going to prove all the critics wrong, I have a feeling, because that's just who he is. His dad taught him to sit there and write down his goals in a spreadsheet and then every day go back and put in what he did to accomplish his goals every day. So he was essentially accountable for trying to achieve his goals every little day incrementally and then keeping himself to it. So with somebody like that, you're in trouble. He's never going to break. He's always just going to get there at some point in time. You know what I mean? You might stop him once, but the next time he'll do it because he will done everything he could to get there again and do it right. You know what I mean? He's just that type of dude. So
now Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance have been told the same exact thing. Jalen Hurts has been said, you're not good enough, you can't do it, and all this stuff. Your throwing sucks, you're a running quarterback, all this stuff, right? Jalen Hurts is a Pro Bowl alternate. 16 touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns, right? And he's a Pro Bowl alternate. It's just like he only had 9 interceptions, bro. Only 9. So that makes, like, that's amazing right there. And people still want this one guy wants Kenny Pickett so bad because he makes the basic throws. Like, he hits them on target, hits them on stride, so sees the perfect field and whatever. So I'm like, okay, Jalen Hurts had trouble doing that. What can he do to improve it? He's doing that now with the both Toms, like I said before. He's working on his game.
Those are the things that can be taught. Those are the things that can be, created and fixed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is just like, what is up, man? What is up, man? Shoot, I forgot what we were gonna say. But shoot. Oh, got it. I got it. So Jalen Hurts, I don't know if he's the guy, because think about this. Going back to 2016, 2017, before we won this bad boy right over here. It's just like, dude, it's just like they got weapons for Carson Wentz, Torrey Smith, Alshon. They got weapons for Jalen Hurts. They didn't get him any like superstar weapons. They got Zach Pascal. Whoop-de freaking do.
They tried to get Rager.
Oh my god.
They tried. They got him. They didn't get the one they wanted.
Yes, sir. Echo. Hold on. Echo. I'm good. So, yeah, it's just like, I don't know if they have any faith in Jalen Hurts because they're not giving him weapons. They're not getting it out and go, we were this close getting Calvin Ridley. This close. They were about to sign the papers, and then Calvin Ridley, the whole betting thing. I'm like, you can't blame Howie on that. You can't blame anyone on that. So it's just like a freak thing. If we got Calvin Ridley, none of this would be talking about wide receivers. Sure, we'll be talking about wide receivers who to get, probably in the later rounds, probably like in the third or fourth round or something like that. So it's just like, try to get DJ Shark. That didn't work. We try to get, I don't know if they're going to try to get Debo, but if we do and we get him, thank you. But it's just like, I don't see that happening.
I think they should be putting weapons around Jalen Hurts, because this is the thing. You've already ran with him 2 years right now. You're going to run with him, I'm guessing, another third, unless, Picket Hands comes up. But why are you going to sit there? And if this season doesn't go well, you're just going to send him off, right? You never put anything around him. And then he's got the chance to go someplace where they have some weapons and show you up. You know what I mean? So you need to know right now if he's got it. This is his third year. He's got to prove it. But you also need to make sure that you give him every chance to do it, or you're not doing yourself justice at this point. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You still have these weapons that you put around him who are there for the next guy. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important that they go offense this year, but I have a feeling they're going to want to try and bulk up their defense.
This is how I see it. For the defense, you got to go through the draft, right? Have them go through together in a couple of years. They'll be top defenses ever. Like, not ever, but you get the point. One of the best. Yeah. Offense, you had to go free agency. You had to. And sure, there's still some on the board that I would like. Maybe a few trades here and there. But you miss out so many opportunities, bro. You missed out on so many opportunities to get somebody. And you didn't. So it's just like, what do we do now? We have to go through offense and defense in the draft? Like, please. We have to go get another tight end now. I always felt like that. But
do you feel the Eagles should kind of take the Rams approach and use their draft capital just to actually trade for proven players instead of taking the crapshoot that is the draft? Because obviously your GM, you don't trust him to be making those decisions on players that aren't proven in the NFL yet.
So for me, it's just like, I would trade, like, definitely, I would trade. I'm always about upgrade. People know about this. If we had a chance to get the Russell Wilson perfect trade, gimme. If we had a perfect trade for, not Aaron Rodgers, but who's other quarterback? Like Kyler Murray, for example, because he wants out. Gimme. I'm always about upgrading the position. So if the trade is right, gimme.
After that horrible interception in the playoff that he threw in the end zone,
Murray?
Yeah.
I mean, he's still better than Jalen Hurts, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but also at the same time, like, it seems like he's a pouty little child. And why would I don't care?
A lot of players are in this league. A lot of players are.
I know, but you don't want to be spending draft capital on them or money on them whatsoever, because
you could say that about Deebo Samuel, though. I mean, think about it. He's acting like a baby, like he wants out. Like, you can say the same thing about OBJ.
I wouldn't say he's acting like a baby.
He wants out. All right, fine. That was a bad example. OBJ. Or basketball terms, Ben Simmons. Right?
Oh.
Can't believe I just said that.
But I don't think...
Go.
I don't know. The way Kyler kind of just like puts these things out, and then, or his agent, or I don't know. To me, it sounds like Kyler's kind of like, I don't know how to put it.
I see exactly what you're saying. People told me the exact thing before.
Like a spoiled bratty kid. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Debo's like, nah, I put my body out there. I put your whole team on my back. I did it. I want the bag, or I want the bag and I want to be close to home or closer to home.
Where's he from?
South Carolina.
Oh, okay. So He's going to the Panthers then?
No.
I would go to the Panthers if he wants to be coach at home. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, we don't want anything the Panthers got.
I mean, you wouldn't want two of their. How many picks? They have one first, right? And that's like the 6th or 8th or whatever.
Yeah, something like
They
that.
have one first and a couple of seconds, I think. But
I don't know. If we do a trade for them, it's going to be give them Jimmy. Why they want Jimmy? Like it makes.
I think they're going to go with Malik Willis in the draft or Kenny Pickett, one of the two.
Well, see, this is
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, and Jimmy's such an idiot. He might be screwing himself out of a job.
I know, right?
Somebody might bring him in for competition, but this is the thing. If they bring him in for competition and he doesn't win, now he is a backup quarterback forever. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have the skills to win a competition unless it's against another shit quarterback.
Yeah. Now, since you brought up a backup quarterback, I just want to bring this up. I really hope the Eagles don't trade Gardner Minshew. I really hope.
I wouldn't want them to either. You know, if I wouldn't mind him on my team. Do I think he's a great quarterback? No. But I think he's an awesome backup quarterback. He's got a heart, he's got the heart of a plumber. Same thing with Fitzmagic. I love Fitzmagic. Yeah, Fitzmagic is awesome. I mean, that guy, yeah, he's going to throw some interceptions, but until the time has run out on the clock, you can never tell that man the game has been lost already. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what, I like people who are like that because you can't. It's infectious. It's infectious, and that's one thing. Great thing is to have somebody in the huddle that could just be like, "Yeah, we're down by 21 points, but there's still 14 minutes. There's a lot of time. Our defense is kicking ass, and I got you fellas." You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, to get people all jazzed up, like, yeah, we can actually do this. You know what I mean? So that's like when I Harbaugh at one point this year. They got in a 4th down situation. I think it might have been 4th and goal or something like that, or 4th and 1. And he just looked at the guys, "Hey, you think we got this?" They're like, "Yeah, we got this." He's like, "All right." You know what I mean? I like that because he's not asking them whether they should go it or not. Like, he's gonna worry about what they say. If they say yes, that's what's doing, because they feel like they can do it. If they feel like they can do it, he's going to take the chance. If they say, "I don't know," he's going to be like, "Nope, we're punting it," because if you don't know, you're right. And if you don't know if you can or you can't, you're right, because you can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
if you know you can, you can. I'm just saying, like, it's just in you at that point.
For me, I'm so tired of the Eagles saying they're a quarterback factory. I am so tired of that. I'm jealous of teams with one quarterback for years. Like, seriously, I'm so jealous of the Patriots, for example, Green Bay, for example, Seattle until Russell Wilson got traded.
Chiefs,
yes. Steelers,
they had Smith. He was good, and they just upgraded with Mahomes. You know what I mean? They didn't know what they had, and all of a sudden they're like, "Well, shit, I'm sorry, Alex."
They took a shot. And they got it right. And you know what? I think Andy Reid drafted him. Right? I think Andy Reid drafted Mahomes.
Yeah, I think Andy Reid was like, "Man, this guy." Well, you know, when you've got a good, talented quarterback like Alex Smith, who's not necessarily high upside, but he's consistent, and you know what you can get out of him, and you could definitely go to the Super Bowl with an Alex Smith, and you can win it with an Alex Smith, right?
Right.
But when you've got somebody like Alex Smith, you can take those shots in the draft in those later rounds on guys with high ceilings that nobody else is really, I don't know, he's unrefined, he's on this and that, and you're like, that's perfectly fine. I've got a wonderful quarterback who can do everything, almost everything that everybody else can, but he can do it consistently. And I can just sit this guy behind him and just teach him all those things that he doesn't know. And if he pops off, he pops off. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I can draft another guy next year just like him. You know what I mean? So that's where somebody like Alex, a situation like that can work wonders for a coach or a team. But when you've got a crap quarterback, like look at the Browns, you know what I mean? The Browns, but if they didn't get Watson, and they had to hold on to Baker because Baker's the only success they've had in a very long time. So they have to, kind of.
Now, here's the thing with the whole Deshaun Watson thing for me. It's just like, why would you take a chance? I get Baker Mayfield is definitely injury prone. I get all that. Deshaun Watson came and played for the first 6 games, I think. First 6 or 7.
It's not that. It's the next 10 years they're hoping to get with him.
Huh?
They're not worried about this season. They're worried about having him here and in the building. And for the next 10 years, they're going to try and build a dynasty around him. You know what I mean? This is like, You ever seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? They thought they got the golden ticket with Baker Mayfield, right? But then all of a sudden, now Deshaun Watson, they're like, we got the platinum ticket. We got the double platinum diamond edition ticket. You know what I'm saying? So they're all giddy, and they're going to take care of him. So it's not about the 6 games. They don't give a damn. They don't give a shit. It's all about the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. Even though I don't probably play 10 years. But
I'm telling you right now, I was at work when the news broke, and I'm like, because he was going to go to where was he going to go before that? There was I forget. There was another team. It was the Saints, right?
The Saints and the Falcons?
Yeah, he was going to go to Atlanta, and then he just went complete left. He took a left. And one of my friends who I worked with years ago, he's a diehard Cleveland Browns fan. And he's like, dude, I hate what I'm seeing. I went, hold on, I got to pull it up. Did I text it to him? Or it's funny. But it's just let's see.
He said he hates what he's seeing?
Congrats on Wilson. And I'm like, he's like, it makes me sick. Last thing I want to do is to root for a dude who has a sexual assault allegations. And then we were talking about Mayfield and stuff after that.
So he was found innocent of all this, essentially, or that they didn't have,
I don't know what the whole thing is.
Yeah. To me, it sounds hella fishy.
Yeah.
150 people? Why do you need 150 people to give you a massage? Oh. I heard he had 150 people in his book that he got massages from, and only 20 of them were having an issue. You know what I mean? Why do you need 150? Bro.
It looks like James Davis has a comment here. But I'm Eagles. I'd rather trade for Debo. That's because I don't want them drafting Jameson Wilson, who's also the same as Devontae Smith. What school did Williams go to? It was Alabama, right?
I don't know.
I think he went to Alabama. I'll look it up.
Thank you for chiming in, James.
But I can see where you're going at with Debo, and it's not realistic. I mean, it's realistic, but it's not realistic for Howie Roseman to jump on it. I don't see.
You don't see him going, I should probably make a smart move right here. To me, I think every team out there should be kicking the tires on Debo. I mean, if you're not, you're stupid.
Oh,
because
sorry, I don't want him. I'm a Michigan fan. He's Ohio State. I'm sorry. No.
Well, no, he's a South Carolina Gamecock. But
I just looked it up. He went to Ohio State.
Who did?
Jameson Williams.
Oh, Debo Samuel I was talking about.
Yeah, Jameson Williams went to Ohio State. So,
Okay.
no.
But yeah, so with a player like Debo Samuel, every team should be kicking the tires on that, whether you have draft capital on not or not. You should be figuring out, okay, well, I don't have a first, but what player on my roster do you think would be, close to that? You know what I mean? Because if you're talking about shipping somebody out, like Debo Samuel could be that one player that totally turns an offense all the way around.
Yeah.
Because he gives defenses fits. So if you put him in the right scheme, everybody else is going to do better because the defense is going to be worried about Debo. You don't even have to give him the ball. You just put him in the backfield. Defenses are like, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't see why people wouldn't be kicking the tires on this. Like, I understand why people wouldn't sit there and overpay, but I would think that every team in the league would want to know immediately once an offer got put in to figure out where it was, if it got higher, or what the value of the compensation package is. Yeah.
Yep. So let me ask you this. Who's the backup tight end for you?
We've got Ross Dwelly, Diamond Hands Ross Dwelly, and we got Charlie Warner.
So you don't think you'll go tight end in the draft then?
We could go tight end on the draft. It's like, not. Yeah.
Like later on?
Depends. They figure out where they like guys, and they try and draft them in that area. You know what I mean? They're not moving up to get somebody. I don't know. They've got a new tight end coach, so I don't know what's going on there. But the thing is like we had what was his name? We got was it Reed, the tight end from Washington Commanders?
I'm sorry. Whenever I hear that name, I laugh. I'm just...
Yeah, but we had him because he was more of a wide receiver type tight end. You know what I mean? Like he was a bigger guy, you could put him on the end, and then he just breaks. He was great like that. So I see us getting a guy who can maybe perform that role, who's more like a wide receiver type. Diamond Hands Dwelly, he's not very fast, but the guy gets open and he does not drop the ball. He's a never misser. That's why I don't understand he doesn't get the ball more. Out of everybody who drops passes, he doesn't. And he doesn't get the ball. And it's like, what the hell? Like, if you need a first down, you throw it to Dwelly. You know what I'm saying? He never drops the ball. But whatever's clever, I guess I'm not the coach for a reason. I guess third and longs and fucking punting.
I know this is like out of order. You just said third and long. But how'd you feel when the Giants did that QB sneak at the 3-yard line?
Oh, man. I hate the Giants. Okay, so this goes back to the 2 NFC championships where they beat us, and then they came in and well, we beat ourselves, but then they tripped and stumbled into a Super Bowl win twice. Eli Manning, that trash ass quarterback. I refuse to watch the Manning show.
I don't even watch it.
Yeah, well, I heard this thing. Peyton Manning, I guess he did something not so nice to a lady, and then there was like a legal case about it, and then he told her she couldn't, in the legal ruling, she got paid, but she couldn't say anything about it. But then later he tried to get her fired from her job a couple times, and then later he said something about it which broke the contract, which then she said something about it, and they tried to sue her again. So because of that, I'm like, nah, screw you, Peyton. You know what I mean? What you did was inappropriate, and you should have known that from the start and been sorry instead of trying to ruin a woman's career. And so to me, He just seems like a piece of S on the inside. So him and his brother, no talent brother, they can shove off.
Everything all right?
Just saying. So yeah, I don't know if we'll have any New York Giants fans on the show.
I know a lot.
Oh, really?
I know a lot of content creators. Yes.
Oh, those poor people.
Yeah, I know a lot of them.
It's like Jets fans and Giants fans. They both have Stockholm syndrome. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you've been held captive by your captors so long, you start identifying with them. That's what it is for them. Their teams have been ran by such trash for so long that they want trash around them, or else they don't feel content. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. We've got this.
Yeah, you're right.
We've got a 49er writer, I guess. He's a ex-Jet scout. I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. But he's got this book he promotes, and it's like 10 years old that he's been, we wrote this book like 10 years ago, and he was a Jet scout for, I guess, like a year or so. I don't know. I asked him how long he was, but he keeps like publishing links of that he wrote in Christian.com or something like that, and he labels it it's like a #1 publication in the world. And I'm like, look, I don't care if it's Christian this and that.com, but don't label it as a #1 publication in the world. You idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got it out in your little article out in somewhere, like, some of them Jets people are just crazy. They have no understanding of the actual world and success. They've been stuck in mediocrity and shitdom for so long.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm telling you right now. Amin was here. He was in the chat.
Yeah, he was. Amin comes in for like 5 seconds and he dips all the time, I swear. That's Amin's thing. He used to just come in the beginning of chats even before they started, like it and say what's up and then leave. I come in and come into the comments and be like, "What up, Amin?" And there's nobody there but me, and I'm like, "Oh." And then he comes in like 15. Yeah, he's a busy boy. He's got a lot of schooling he does and stuff, and he's also celebrating some holidays, and yeah, good on him. So, did we get through all the draft picks that you wanted?
I think we did. The only thing I want that I rather see, I wouldn't mind taking a quarterback in the later rounds. If that happens, then definitely what's his name? Minshew would have to get traded. If we get a quarterback in the later rounds, Minshew's gone. So I wouldn't mind if that happens, but I don't want to get rid of Minshew, if that makes sense.
Well, why don't you just spend that draft capital on a running back? And
probably will. We got a lot of,
because with Minshew, you can keep Minshew on the team. If Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, you keep Minshew on the team while you draft a new quarterback. You know what I mean? And Minshew knows he's a backup quarterback. You know what I mean? At this point, for the most part, you know what I mean? So I'm sure he can come in, fill the reins for a little bit if you get rid of Jalen at that point. And then you might be able to even trade away Minshew at that point, and he might be able to find a starting role.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not necessarily a bad thing. I would hold on to Minshew.
I mean, he does want to be a starting quarterback. He actually went to Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, and it's like, I want to be a starting quarterback, and they go no. So I don't know if they take that into fruition, but it is what it is.
To ask to be a starting quarterback, I don't know if he say that, or he's just like, I want a competition, because I think it's hard to come into a team that just drafted a guy and they're trying to figure it out and go, well, yeah, I want to be a starting quarterback. It's like, nah, bro, we got our own thing we're trying to figure out right now. We don't need you prolonging it. You know what I'm saying?
But it's Uncle Rico. It's Uncle Rico, man.
Yeah, but you got to. You need to with Jalen Hurts right now, you need to figure out whether you need to rip the Band-Aid off her right now. We had our own we had our own Jalen situation, and we didn't know to rip the Band-Aid off for a very long time. We ended up cutting other players that could have been handy because he was still on the team and somebody was having hope that he was going to be able to make it back. He spent 3 years on our team just being injured the whole time. So when it comes down to Jalen Hurts, I'm like, you got to figure it out and you got to rip it off. But right now, the verdict is still up in the air about Jalen Hurts. He's shown glimmers to the point where you have to give him more chances. You know what I mean? And he's put things together. Now he just needs to figure out how to string them all together in one game, and then string games along for a season. You know what I mean? And once he does that, then he's your guy. You know what I mean? I have a feeling he is. I have a feeling he is your guy. Who knows? Who knows what his ceiling is? You know what I mean? But I have a feeling that he can do everything you need.
Oh yeah, he can do stuff. It's just the throwing accuracy. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it's also with throwing in accuracy, sometimes it's also the timing. You know what I mean? And that could be a thing. Like I said, he's struggling right now with that, but that's one of those things where they could just snap into place halfway through the season and you're off and running. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts might be the quarterback who's talked about the most next year because of the fact that he's now starting to figure things out and he gets his timing on. He understands where everybody's going to be, with his eyes closed. You know what I mean? Then he started able to make plays that are actually successful for you and your team,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We got to see what the future holds. We just got to see. And if he progresses, great. If he doesn't, Bryce Young, come to Philly.
Right. So, with that, I think good time to wrap it up. We've gone for an hour and 20 plus. Want to thank you for coming on. Really appreciate the chat. If you couldn't tell, we're going extra.
Yeah, without a doubt. I love talking Eagles, any team, really. I just love talking sports.
Heck yeah. Well, we're going to have to get together again sometime.
Oh, yeah. You'll be on my channel next, without a doubt.
Wonderful. We'll set that up. I want to remind everybody, Mitch's everything is in the description. His Twitter and his YouTube down there. Give him a follow and a sub. Mitch, plug all the projects and stuff that everybody can catch you on. I know you got your Spotlight Sports, right?
Yep, Spotlight Sports Network. We got a couple stuff going on over there. We're doing every single NBA playoff game. One of our people, King in the building, is doing the Nets game right now, Nets and Celtics basketball. So if you like that, go over there. I'm doing Warriors and Nuggets game tomorrow. I got a lot of stuff. I'm doing a lot of play-by-plays this week. Just getting that watch hours up, man. That's what's key. But yeah, thank you for having me on, man. It was a real pleasure.
Yeah. And with that, I want to thank everybody who was in the chat. The Dream, Coach Dante, Swan Song. Let's see. We had some of your boys up here towards the top.
Alexis, yeah.
Alexis and okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful evening. And we're out.
Catch you guys.